you're gonna have to quote at a particular time that I said that because I don't know what you're on about.
We were in a podcast and we were talking about local stores, right? Local shops and whatever.
Oh,
and you said that
I don't know
your
whether
stores were by...
I didn't know whether it was Seek. I guessed. I was like, maybe.
Oh no, they are Seeker. There's...
Welcome back to the Roadish Podcast.
No, that can't be where you started. Oh my god!
I'm gonna.
No, I swore you can't start it there.
Oh my god!
So I was just ranting to Ley about how...
I quit.
You know what? To Armand's favour, I'm going to mute that, and if we ever have a Patreon, I will unmute what was just mentioned, and you can view it over there.
Jesus Christ!
I feel like that was a perfect time for me to just mention that this is being recorded.
I hate it here. Thanks.
Oh yeah, thanks. I hate it. How are we? Hello. I've literally just jumped in.
Traumatized.
exhausted. Oh.
Well,
How are you, Rune?
I'm okay. I've had a good karma day. I feel like.
Oh,
Yeah.
we'd love to hear that.
It's nothing.
Very nice.
Nothing particularly special. Armand, you know a little bit more about this. Essentially, on Tarkov, yeah, it is through that medium because what else have I got to do with my life? I've been giving away mass amounts of money in the form of kits and ammo and pretty much anything that anyone's asked for, because I'm technically done with the game. I got to the personal point that I wanted to, and that was it. So I've just been really nice. I've been hanging out in a streamers Discord, and we ran a big team earlier, and it was absolute chaos. One guy absolutely lost his mind. He was being big mad. I got a few friend requests for people that were the slightly calmer of the set, but yeah, pretty much anyone who was asking for stuff, I was like, yep, I'll buy it, because I'm kind of done now. I'm just memeing and helping out other people, so I feel like I've done a good karma day.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, just spending millions of rubles and dollars, and it is what it is. But no, that's pretty much it. That's all I've been doing because I got kind of a free weekend.
Nice.
I am wondering why we're here recording this on a Saturday when it's the closest weekend to Halloween, and you guys aren't getting fucking crunk. Yeah, what's up with that?
What? What?
He's not been. He's not involved in our culture. I think he might have to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already made so many errors.
The beginning of this pod is one of them. Why aren't you out getting drunk at a party, essentially?
Because I'll be at a girl's house getting drunk with her, and yeah, a cardio at home.
Wow.
Okay, well, when is this? Is this now?
This is the night of Halloween.
Oh, right.
Or an actual Halloween.
Oh, fuck! Cut that out! Cut that out ASAP! No, Rune, for my sake, cut that out!
I was just about to say, in what world was that a safe thing to say?
Cut that out!
There has been so much stuff at the beginning of this pod, and you know what?
Oh
No.
my god.
Yes! No.
You can feel the full weight of the action. You can have consequences of your action. Yeah, that's the one.
Fuck.
Haha, you're not getting any cardio now, boy.
Wait. When is this gonna go up?
This goes up. Actually, technically into November, so it goes up.
Oh,
on
so
the
I'm
3rd.
fine. I'm fine. That'll be well past that point. Yeah. Do
Well,
whatever the fuck you want.
you know what? I'm in your walls,
I
and because I'm in your walls, I'm going to find out who you're on about and shoot the miss ahead of time because it will definitely
Right.
be edited
Also,
tomorrow.
such dramatic correlation to what you were just talking to me about before pod started.
Oh,
I'm
no.
so confused.
Right, so listen, Ley. Everybody gets over people differently, right?
You get under them. Yeah.
I get on the other people to get over other people, right?
God,
but
this
yeah,
is so
it's-
unhealthy.
Let him do what he wants.
I'd like to say we have a. Okay, I'll mute that bit. He's young, But that's
Oh
also.
God! Oh, fuck my life!
There's so many mutes at the beginning of this. I'm glad it's
This
all
is
within the first 5
going
minutes.
so bad.
So
Can we
So well.
restart this, please?
nope.
Oh
Nope.
my God!
This is what people come here for. The very limited people that do come here for this. With that, I feel like he is the exact age that we don't let him do what he wants, because he still needs to be told what to do for a significant period of time. So,
But
while
then you
I
also
reasonably
argue that
disagree.
they're at an age where they're not going to listen, so why bother?
Oh, I'm just not gonna do anything for the rest of my life now, because when I die, what's the point? I'm just not gonna bother.
What? The argument I'm making?
It's pretty much the argument you're making. They're not going to listen, so why bother with it? Okay, well, I'm not going to bother to eat.
But,
It comes out, but I don't get to keep any of it. So why bother?
Why bother going to work? I'm going to spend the money anyway.
Yeah.
God,
so,
I
just-
mean, my God, it's a good job neither of us want to be parents, because no.
I would totally use the line which was used on me many a times. I don't know why you're crying, but I can give you something to cry about.
Oh yeah. I know that.
That is peak parenting right there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, other than that, what have we been up to? What's been going on? What have we done for the last week? I would start with Armand, but you've done fuck all because you're just at work all the time. We haven't actually spoken since last pod.
Yeah, because I now work pretty much. I see my house 2 hours a day. That's it.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Money's good. I'm raking in the money. I'm on the grind.
Yeah. Ley, what have you been up to? What's been the last week?
I don't fucking remember. Just loads of like boring admin stuff, right, for the next song release.
Mm-hmm.
So
Excited?
I am excited. I have this weird feeling that I don't know how to process.
Okay.
I got a feeling.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That one.
I don't apologise. But like, it feels like something good's about to happen, but I can't put my finger on what the fuck it is yet.
Right.
But I don't know if you ever get that where you're just like, something's about to change, but I don't.
Oh, I get that sometimes, and it's just like I have a feeling, and then that feeling just comes out to be true, and I hate it because most times it's bad shit. I never have a feeling about good shit, you know.
Well, it's
I
very
get what
rare
you
that
mean.
it feels like good shit, but this one doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, usually I've got the opposite, where it's like, got a bad feeling, and I feel like something's going to happen because pretty much everything else is neutral because apparently I'm like emotionless or something. But I get what you mean. I do want to ask a quick question though.
Yeah.
Well, there's two questions. One of them is like such a dad joke, it's shit. But the second one is I saw what you posted as a Instagram story promoting it. And I immediately wondered whether there would be any like report flagging or anything like that for the content of the picture that you posted because of the woman in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because
Okay.
the only rules that Instagram have are all about your tits, not your ass, for some reason.
Okay. So to give some sort of description, essentially it's a burlesque fire dancer. Am I getting that somewhat right? Okay. And quite a few things were on show, on available for viewing. Let's put it that way. However, I believe one of the pictures was I don't want to call it like a typical. It's an artsy shot. I would say it's an artsy shot, but it's a very stereotypical like photo shoot kind of shot, if you will. And the top half of her was, am I right in saying her?
Yes, you are.
Was a profile, and I thought, without like looking into it too much, that I could see things that I shouldn't have. That's why I questioned it.
No. They've got nipple covers on and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if you can get away with that. And obviously, my first initial thought was like, I don't want the Instagram to be flagged for anything because then it's going to suppress everything else. The second one, the shit dad joke, okay? And you might have an answer for this, okay? The name of your band, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's Bitchin' Hour. We post the links in the description and people can look forward to a new song coming out. Why don't you guys have a podcast talking about the music industry called Bitchin' Hour?
because we have tried so many times and trying to organise these people is impossible.
I actually wanted to ask about it last week, but I just totally forgot anyway. But I just thought, actually, it would make a lot of sense to have a podcast named the same as the band and then have it all under the same umbrella.
Right? No, you're not wrong. It's been an in-the-works conversation for fucking years now. But
I feel like yeah. Go on.
It's kind of like you. I'm in the... It's down to me to get it all fucking done. And I'm like, I've got too much to do already. If someone else wants to take the reins, happy. But I ain't doing all of it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I can imagine putting together, 5 people on a regular basis that are also musically involved in other places.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
Well, it was in the time. So...
Like, it's hard enough for us to get all together for rehearsal, let alone adding on a podcast at the same time.
Yeah, sometime in the week being like, yeah, cool. Excuse me. What I will mention is that I'm absolutely hating. Okay, this is my mini rant for today, and then I'm done, and then we can go into other shit. I'm hating that we're recording these on a Saturday because...
Yes, I was gonna say thankfully I'm not very booked because it's winter, but most Saturdays I've got a gig.
Yeah. And in the nicest way, Armand, this is total bullshit admin stuff that like the pod doesn't really need to hear, but I feel like it's all encompassing. Let's put it that way. With Summer's new job, she has weekends off. And I'm like, yeah, I know I spend an awful lot of time with Summer. I like that I spend an awful lot of time with Summer.
Yeah.
There is a question that I want to bring up maybe later towards the podcast. I'll see if it fits in with everything that's going on anyway. But yeah, not to say losing a Saturday. Luckily today there is a Halloween party and Summer's gone to that and I'll be going to pick her up later. But God, recording this on a Saturday seems so... I get that you're fitting it in where you can, Armand. I understand completely. But if we have to...
I understand why.
Yeah. If we need to record this at like 11 p.m. on a weekday...
I would rather, yeah.
I would rather actually kill myself and record it on a weekday than do it on Saturdays. But we can discuss that at some other time unless you have some sort of compromise solution.
I am looking into getting a day off because working 7 days a week is unsustainable.
Also highly illegal.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it's not even allowed, is it?
Yeah, but also I don't know how much we can say this on the pod because from what Armand has told me, that isn't a concern.
Okay.
No, it's not a concern of the company. I've read the contract. It's not allowed, but I don't think they really care about what they say on the contract.
Yeah, because I have quite a few. I say quite a few. I have 2 or 3 friends that work way more than their contract states, and it's essentially the hours that are put down past a certain point are paid slightly differently. Not as in like an overtime thing, but it's to avoid other implications in the nicest way. And like I could be the moral high horse, blah blah blah, and be like, I'm gonna report you. Also, it's not my fucking business. Like at the end of the day, keep my head down. I'm doing my own shit. But yeah, Armin, if you're able to get actual days off, for one, probably should. Like mental health wise, I know it could be seen as a bit of a meme, but like, and then just general health wise, it's probably a good idea for. In the same way that you don't go to the gym every day and exercise exactly the same muscle.
Yeah.
Rest days are good. Rest days are good. Oh, God's sakes. You can also hear the dog in the background because people have decided that fireworks is a really good idea over the weekend. Have you got them as well?
Freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
I got a fireworks shot at the window of my bus yesterday.
Jesus.
And the window cracked.
That sounds like things from your area without explicitly this thing.
Well, welcome to my town. Welcome to my humble abode.
I mean, I don't think anything bad's going to happen with these, but bearing in mind that it is currently 9:25 in the evening. I mean, yeah, it's a Saturday. You can make whatever noise you want until, but then I have to put up with that noise, and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, Gimli's just like.
Well, I think there's 2 different versions of dog. Is either aggressive because I don't know what it is, or scared because I don't know what it is. I think we have opposite ends of the spectrum for
yes.
that. Anyway, anything else that we want to go over before we go into the shit show that will be the rest of this episode?
What are we doing for the rest of this episode?
Wow.
My God.
I'm joking with the paranormal activity stories. I'm not stupid. I remembered I was playing for fuck's sake, Rune. Can a man not joke with you?
No, because last pod, okay, you both trolled the fuck out of me at the end of it. And it seems to be an ongoing thing that you guys just like trolling the fuck out of me to the detriment of the podcast. So,
it's not detrimental to the podcast. It makes the podcast better.
If you think so. Or quick side note. Again, I'm having all of these thoughts now because my brain is apparently just on fire. I made
this girl is on. Sorry.
Yeah, that one. I made a TikTok, I believe, that was meant to be posted some time ago. Ley.
Hang on, why is that my job?
You sent it to my phone.
Shit.
Did you never post it? Because you sent it to my phone like, ignore it, it's for later.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. If you wouldn't mind at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
My life.
In the same, I'm giving you fair and equal treatment to the same way that I react to Armand when I'm like, post shit.
Absolutely valid. Okay. Absolutely valid. Completely forgot that was on me.
Everything I do is valid, so... I mean, we did do a whole rigmarole to try and figure out... Okay, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Good point. Anyway, who wants to start us off on some paranormal activity story experiences that we've had in our real lives?
What we got, lads? What we got?
Oh wow, you put a lot of thought into this. I've got one.
I have one in my notes. Notes. You guys do your one, but I'll find the one in my notes because I've got so much shit in my notes.
Okay, well, I have one that comes to mind immediately, and then two others I believe I've made notes on. But I have already spoken a lot. Ley, I want you to tell us a story. Story time.
I will give you... Okay, so why don't we start from the very first one? Technically isn't my story, it's my mum's.
Okay.
But how I was there, so therefore it counts in my opinion.
I was there.
I was there. I was a legitimate newborn baby. Like, you know when you're so small you can't hold your head up or nothing yet?
Yeah.
Very, very newborn.
Yeah, like teeny tiny little baby. Which is why I say I was there, but I have no memory of it, obviously. And
I don't know if that still counts the same as saying that you were there.
I was there.
I mean, you existed at the same time, but like...
But I was there.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, it's not like I'm going to be like, we can't let this one slide, because it's going to be Yeah, go on.
And so my mum was like looking after me or whatever, and apparently this happened quite a few times where she would put me down somewhere, and obviously I'm so small I can't even hold my head up, right? She put me down somewhere, go off and do something for a moment, come back, and I'd have a toy in my hand that was on the other side of the room.
Did you levitate?
Were you levitating at the time?
As far as I know, no. Because if I've lost that ability, that's fucking rude.
That's annoying, yeah. Maybe try and get that back.
Yeah. And so this kept happening and it kept freaking my mum out. For context, my mum's dad died about a year prior to me being born.
Unfortunate.
And for whatever reason, she got the inkling that maybe it was her dad. So she turned around and she was like, "Dad, if it's you, can you stop? Can you stop it? You're freaking me the fuck out." And it never happened again.
Oh.
And so, but then she was like, "Oh God, I kind of confirmed it was my dad, and I told him to fuck off." So she feels very guilty since.
To do a slight skeptic take on it, could it have been that it was just a one-off incident, or did this happen at other occasions where toys just appeared in your hand?
Apparently it would happen to me a lot, which is what caused Mum to be like, "Please stop it, it's freaking me out."
Oh, right, okay. But the trend has continued that now you just find toys in your hand.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're just more fun toys now.
Nice.
I no longer wish to be part of this conversation.
Ends up being late, and you're just like, that's here now. Anyway, Armand, do you want to go from one from your notes?
Not anymore. Okay. So I was at my mum's aunt's village farmhouse.
Have you lost the ability to read? What was that?
Oh no, I just took like slight notes. I'm not reading the story.
Okay. Well, it very much seemed like you had a strunk, but yeah, all right, go on.
Right. So I was like at the house in a village, and like it's a village, okay? It's a you know it looks like the villages from Borat, right? Exactly like that. And it was nighttime, and we went. So we had a smaller field, right? Like a smaller field. It was like a maybe 5 by 6 meter square garden where we kept like carrots and onions, right? And then we had the bigger one for like when I say bigger one, I mean like that was probably like 3 or 4 hectares, acres. What the fuck's wrong with me? Acres. Acres full of just like potatoes and beans.
He is actually having a strunk.
I think he really is.
Yeah, I think so. Go on, continue.
And honestly, now that I think about it, it might have just been my dad being a dickhead. I was like 7, and me, my dad, and my uncle all went out to get some potatoes because they wanted to make chips, and they wanted potatoes, and so we went outside on the field. Keep in mind, it's winter in Romania. It's like late December, like past Christmas, before Christmas, after Christmas, before New Year's, right? So it's cold. The snow is up to above your knees, pretty much, right? And we're going to look for potatoes. Now that I think about it, why the fuck were there potatoes outside in the field in the middle of the winter? Doesn't matter. So we were going out to look for potatoes. And my dad was in front of me. My uncle was behind me, right? Because I wanted to obviously be in the middle, so I can't get attacked. Wanted to feel safe. And then I remember we all heard like a running, like a galloping, like just gallop past us. And
when you say gallop, do you mean like a horse galloping or someone running very fast?
It sounded more like a cow.
Wait.
Didn't we tell this story last episode?
How would you differentiate if you just heard galloping? You'd go, it's a cow. It's a fucking. You know what? Actually, it's a fucking crocodile. Okay, because they gallop the same, obviously. Okay, so yes,
might have been zebra. How do you know?
Exactly.
How do you know?
Yeah, like if you use the word gallop, the first, or even if you were to hear that sound, I think the first thing that comes to mind is typically a horse, and you're like, nah, mate, it's a cow.
I'm only saying cow because the guy that runs the herd, right, used to live 2 houses down.
That would probably be really good context to say beforehand. We heard galloping, and it wasn't a horse. I was so sure it was a cow. Anyway, with the context that 2 neighbors or 2 houses away or whatever, they had a herd of cows.
Right. So we heard like this gallop. It was like, it was fast. It was like just like swooshed past us. It was like it's like you know how you hear fast cars go past you, like that type, but galloping wise, right?
I'm having a hard time imagining, but I get what you mean.
So it was like quiet, and then quickly got loud, and then quickly got quiet again, right? And then my uncle jumped, and my dad turned around, and I was obviously scared. I was in half a meter of snow, pitch black, with like a phone flashlight. And my uncle starts running back to the house, and my dad says, no, we keep walking. So my uncle goes back to the house, right? And then out of nowhere, there's just like stuff falling. There's like stuff falling on the field, like just falling from the sky. It wasn't rain. It wasn't snow. It wasn't like, I don't know. It was like sticks, if you will. There's like branches or like leaves or that type of shit.
Was there a tree?
Yeah.
There was no trees.
Okay. Again,
it's an end.
The caveats and context that you need to give for this is like, yeah, sticks started falling from the sky. I'm like, was there a tree? It's like, no. I was like, okay, well, maybe start with that bit.
Okay. Let me give a better description of how.
No, we don't need to continue with the description of the field. There's 3 of you. There's no trees. There's a cow running. Okay, go.
Cow running. Sticks falling out of the sky, right? And we run. So my dad says, "Oh, with there's like I can't remember what he said, but basically the gist of it was like we need to go back to the house." So as we walk back to the house, we got back to the same point where we heard the galloping, and we heard the galloping again in the same spot.
Was it a horse or a cow?
There was a cow. It was a cow. So we walked back, but when we walked past the same point, we heard the galloping again. Now, 2 nights later, we walk past the same point, and we hear galloping again. The same type of cow galloping, right?
It was obviously the same cow.
Obviously the same cow, right?
Are we talking ghost cow at this point?
Probably, yeah. Right. And so then when we come back again from the field, we hear the galloping again in the same spot. So now, when we came back, we told our uncle, and our uncle, the great uncle, like my mom's uncle, thinks that the field is just haunted by a evil cow galloping away because it died galloping or some shit. I don't know.
It died galloping. Totally a cow.
It was a cow. There's no horses. There's no horses for like 12 villages away.
It was also an imaginary sound. It could have been anything.
It was
Heard a thing in a field. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, you heard a cow galloping like a race car.
I feel like there's a bird that has a very similar like clicking sound.
Like
it was.
Yeah. But there were no trees, so why would there be birds? There were sticks, but no trees.
I think my uncle was throwing the sticks. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think my uncle was throwing the sticks from like
you
by
did
the
start.
house.
You did start the story by saying, "Oh, maybe it was just your dad fucking with you." It's like,
yeah,
quite possibly.
Well, that seems like quite a mean thing to fuck you.
to fuck you with. Sticks are quite harsh to fuck you with. Yes, that is true. Especially as a child collecting potatoes. Okay, I'm gonna start with one that I'm gonna give some caveats, and then I'm gonna set the scene for you. So the first bit is I actually recorded this, and I'll tell a little bit more in the story. But essentially, it was the first time that I had an iPhone, because when I was 17, I had a Nokia brick. I then went to a HTC One because of some work mess up with my dad's work, and then that kind of died. I got given an iPhone. I really liked the whole camera aspect and how quick it was to access the camera on the iPhone. That gives a little bit of backstory as to why I ended up recording this. And annoyingly, it was a night that I ended up being on my own, which was quite rare anyway. And at the time, I lived in a town called Reading. I don't mind mentioning any of that. I'm nowhere near there anymore. And it was like the family house. It was the one that we were in for the longest period of time. I've lived in like almost 15 different houses by this point. It was a lot of moving around, but this is one that we kind of settled on, and we really like this. And to give you a little bit of setting the scene, the attic was converted into a bedroom, and that was my room at the time. So I had a hatch door that would lead down a wooden ladder that would then end up on the end of the landing. You walk down the stairs, you go through, you have to pass the front door. You kind of do a U-turn on yourself as you go down the bottom of the stairs, and it's the living room. And then there's a set of double doors that lead you into a kitchen that is like long ways to the right of the back of the living room. So hopefully that's a reasonable description. And I think at this point I wasn't working. I think this was my time between moving from like retail into the industry that I'm in now. So it was like a little bit of a downtime. I think I had like 3 or 4 weeks off essentially. I don't know why I was on my own. Remembering back on the story, I'm not too surprised that it became more regular after this time anyway. I was old enough to be able to just be on my own when my sister wasn't quite old enough. And they're gone out, parents gone out with my sister, gone and done a thing. Maybe it was like a school parents evening or something, I don't know. And I was in my room, and I think I was on Xbox at the time, because that was the reason that I was staying up late. And it was about, if I were to take a guess, if I'm remembering correctly, it was somewhere between 10 and 11 p.m. It was quite late, so maybe the parents' evening doesn't quite line up, but there was some other reason that they were out. And I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, being about that late or so, I started hearing like a knocking downstairs. At first, didn't think much of it, just thought, oh, parents are back, they've obviously come back, they're going to get some food or something. They've been out for most of the evening. By this point, they'd been out for about 3 or 4 hours. Didn't think much of it. It was just some noise downstairs, whatever. Sound travels quite well through the landing up the wooden ladder that was used to get into my room, and I had the hatch closed more often than not. So if there was any noise below the hatch, it was muffled, but I could hear it. I also had a laminate floor, so if there was noise downstairs, I could feel it in my feet. And I was very much, at this point, if I was ever playing Xbox, I had my feet on the floor, I was sat on the end of my bed. The typical 90s into 2000 kid kind of view of things. Knocking, whatever, didn't think much of it. About 5 or 10 minutes later, heard the knocking again. I was like, okay, well, they're obviously just messing around in the kitchen, making food or whatever. And then it got a bit louder. I was like, okay, I can really hear this, and I can't usually hear stuff that's in the kitchen. I mean, it's technically 2 floors below me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go down. I think I was in between COD games or something. I'm just going to go down. I took my phone with me, because I just took my phone with me everywhere, because I really like the aspect of an iPhone. As I go to the bottom of the stairs, the knocking is odd. It's not in rhythm. There's not like someone going through the kitchen drawers or anything, and it's not like cupboards slamming like people are getting plates out or anything.
Yeah.
The downstairs light wasn't on, but there was a lamp on. My mum had the thing about like leaving lamps on, so there was some kind of dim light on most of the times in the house. If it was ever dark, even if it was like 4 a.m, there would be a lamp on, so we'd wake up in the morning, if it was dark, there'd be a lamp on. Turn the corner into the living room. As I say, you kind of do a little bit of a U-turn on yourself at the bottom of the stairs, and the double doors that are very rarely closed for the entry to the kitchen are shaking quite violently back and forth. And the double doors aren't like the weather sealed ones. They're the ones that have like a panel of fake glass in them, like a perspex. And they rattle quite a bit anyway. If you shut the door, it does just kind of rattle. There's no like draft excluder on the bottom. There's nothing insulating them from like rattling around. So they're moving backwards and forth quite aggressively. And I'm looking at this like, the fuck is happening? I think my initial thought was maybe the back door was open, because if you were to go through these double doors, about 4 steps in front of that is the back door to the garden. I thought the back door was open, a draft is coming through, it's knocking the doors back and forth.
Yeah.
But you can quite clearly see the back door through these panes of like the perspex. So I'm like, as I'm like walking up the side of the corner sofa that we have that sticks out into the middle of the living room, like the back door is very much not open. So why are these shaking? As I'm walking up to the side of the sofa, I'm recording on my phone. I'm recording the door. I wish I still had that phone, because I would post the video here. But you can quite clearly see that they're aggressively moving backwards and forwards. And as I go to grab the handle, it just stops. Like someone's grabbed both sides of the door, like simultaneously. And it just dead silence, and it's just nothing. I'm expecting like someone to be in the kitchen, or like someone in like, obviously I expected to see someone in the living room. Maybe they were out on, we had like a veranda, it's a concrete slab outside the back door before you get to the garden. I'm expecting to see some light out there, or someone in the kitchen making some sort of ruckus, or that's something other. Nothing. There's no one in. I text my mum. I'm like, are you back? It's like, no. Have you come back? No. I think I ended up texting about it, but I couldn't send or at least I didn't know how to send videos. So I would have sent it. I end up showing them when they come back, and from that point we ended up seeing quite a few other things in the house. My mum ended up naming this supposed ghost that she thought it might have been. She called her Betty. Don't know why. So if these doors ever like rattled or anything, we would just blame it on Betty, because that's the name that we gave to this thing that was fucking with these kitchen doors. Nothing. It didn't do anything else. It was just these kitchen doors. But yeah, it was like my first proper real life experience of like, this is really fucking weird, and I don't have an explanation for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just It's my big ghost story, if you will.
I like it. I love that you have video evidence of it as well, which is like.
It's
so
like I said.
rare.
I wish I still had the video. The phone is long gone. I think the screen was being held together with glue from that I stole from work or something, because it was smashed a bit. You know, iPhones drop them once, they want to kill themselves. I kept the phone afterwards. I think that after the 4, I ended up having I think it was like a 6 or something. I think it was an iPhone 6. And I thought I transferred everything over like I did with my last phone to the current phone that I have. And I guess I just must have missed that. I just didn't do it. So that video is out there in the ether on some phone memory somewhere.
Oh, I wish we could see it. That would be cool.
I wish I did have it. It would have been cool.
Yeah. Hey, Armand.
Hello.
How's your drive going?
I'm actually texting someone. I'm not driving.
Wow.
I'm
Not
texting and
even
driving.
Yeah.
No, I did hear the name of the ghost is Betty, and your phone was broken. You jumped on the floor, and I'm listening. Don't worry. I know what you be saying.
So disrespectful.
Using glue from work to stick your phone together.
That's what you picked up from my story. That's what you took away.
The doors were rattling, and you went to grab them, and it's like someone grabbed them, and then you texted your mom. I know the fucking story. I'm not gonna sit here and repeat the fucking story. Okay, I get the story. I listened.
Okay. Well, Ley, do you want to go into another one of yours?
Yeah, sure. Which one? Okay, so for context, I used to live in like a 2-bedroom, like 2 up, 2 down house, like your typical English home. And it was at a point in my life where my main like job and source of income was dog boarding. So there was always, on top of my dog Gimli always being at the house, there was always at least one other dog, if not more.
Is this a weird version of waterboarding?
What?
Dog boarding. It's like you're smothering people with dogs.
No. Although if I'm going to die, I would like to be smothered with puppies. I think that would be great.
Okay, yeah. Not disagreeing.
But yeah, so for context, I always had like different dogs in my house all the time. For anyone that doesn't know, or if you haven't watched it, haven't listened to like previous pods or anything, I am of the witchy variety of person. And so
what?
The witchy variety of person. I'm a witch.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna contain myself.
No.
Fuck's sake.
It's what I've been raised on, like both my mum and my grandma.
Oddly enough, Armand, other people have other interests that aren't to do with you.
No, I wanted to say it. No, I wanted to say it.
Jesus Christ.
It's funny to me because I'm retarded. It's not funny to use.
This is why I'm keeping everything in the pod that he says. Anyway, it was the way you were raised. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so, naturally, So, the best way I can explain it is I don't necessarily... Well, no, I don't. I don't believe ghosts are real. I don't. Like, that sounds dumb, even just
No,
saying...
I'm the same. I don't believe that is a thing that is possible for humans to embody.
Yeah. But...
Why do you always have to be so intellectual about shit?
Because that's how...
Brevity, you twat.
Yeah.
I've thought about these thought processes before. I put a lot of thought into what my own brain contains.
Yeah.
I just spew out shit.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're here.
That's the problem. But because of like how I was raised and everything, and like things I was around, my mindset is, well, just in case, I'll just do these things anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I have loads of like protections and blah 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 around the house and whatnot. Anyway, that's just basically to explain that in my, it's not a religion, my spiritual belief, the house is protected, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
So any like nice spirits can get in, which sounds stupid. But anyway.
There's no other way of explaining it other than just sounding a little bit loopy.
Yeah. Anyway, I'd been noticing that Gimli, my dog, kept running up the stairs, and he would stand on the landing. And he does this thing, Rune, you'll be able to attest to this, that when he sees someone he knows and he likes, he'll like run up to you and he'll kind of put his paws on your legs and be like, pick me up, pick me up, pick me up.
Yeah, he does the I'm a needy dog thing.
Yeah, exactly. And he kept running up the stairs and doing the pick me up motion to thin air. And I was like, what the fuck? That's weird. Thought nothing of it, didn't really care. And then it was happening daily. And so I was kind of like, okay, fine. Like, my unlogical brain just went, that's not a problem. It's just a nice ghost playing with Gimli. It's fine. And then I had a dog staying with me that I was fostering. So instead of boarding them, I was in charge of them until their owner, I think they were ill and in hospital. So I had them for a couple of months. Mm-hmm. And the first night he came in, I was lying in bed with all the dogs, and Gimli got up, like noticed something on the landing, got up and went and did the pick me up thing again. I was like, oh, okay. But then the other dog looked in the same place and started like growling and foaming at the mouth, and I was like, whoa, now. Okay, that's weird. And I was like, because I didn't know what to do, because he was getting like really fucking angry about it. And I was like, oh my God, I need to calm this dog down. So it sounds so dumb what I'm about to say. But I just kind of like sat up and I was like, hey, whoever you are, I don't mind you being here. Couldn't care less. You are welcome to stay here. You're welcome to play with Gimli whenever you like. However, this dog clearly doesn't like you and he's having a hard time right now. Could you maybe go away until he's gone, so that he can be safe and happy and you can be safe and happy, and then you can come back after he's gone. It's fine. I'm not telling you to go away. I just need you to leave us alone for a bit.
Just like passive aggressive Britishness of like, can you just fuck off for a bit?
Would you mind awfully? And like as I've like finished, he stopped growling, he stopped foaming at the mouth, he just curled up and went to sleep. And Gimli also came back into the room and was like, they're gone now, and like lay down on me, and I was just like, okay. And Gimli didn't do the uppy thing on the stairs until after the other dog, Darwin, was gone. It was very odd.
That is very odd. Yeah, because I say they, as in like there's a group of specific people that say this thing, but they say that they can see in different spectrums, so like pets because they can see different like wavelengths, that they're able to see things that we can't. Is it the same way that they can smell things that we can't because they have a higher sensitivity of smell?
Yeah, exactly.
Very strange.
Don't know what it was, but clearly both dogs could see something. Gimli thought it was a friend. Darwin did not think it was a friend.
Regardless, it was polite.
It was. It listened to me. It went, all right. It left us alone for the 3 months I had him. And then it came back.
Yeah. Armand, do you want to refer to your notes and actually learn to read?
I can't read.
True.
Come on, Rune. Get it together, bro.
Based.
Right. My next story is I was at camp, right?
Band camp?
What?
That one time?
Band camp?
I'm so confused.
Oh, he's too young to know the reference.
Yeah,
Jesus.
The reference is over his head. Anyway, yeah, you were at a camp. What was this camp for?
It was a religious camp.
Oh, was he
Conversion therapy?
No. It was just like a summer 2 week. I don't know how long it was. I think it was like a week or some shit. It was for a period of time, right? Defined period of time. Maybe a week or 2 weeks, something like that. And I was at camp with my two very, very good friends one of them I haven't talked to in maybe 4 years, and the other one I haven't talked to since yesterday.
It was a conversion camp.
It's totally a conversion camp.
Anyway, yeah.
It wasn't a conversion. Anyway. And,
didn't work very well, but whatever.
It worked overly well. Anyway, yeah.
It worked overly well. And all three of us shared one tent because
total conversion, Kevin.
I bet you did.
because we were broke, so I didn't have more tents. We did have a second tent, but our second tent was storage for clothes and shit.
I kind of get what you mean because it had all that in it. No, I do get what you mean because we had the same when we did a school trip and we had 2 tents and one of them had to have all of our clothes in it. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, and one night, I think this was second to last night or the last night, one of the two. All three of us obviously in the tent and we're trying to fall asleep. And outside we hear like just some like quiet, like really quiet walking. Right?
Was it a cow?
I knew Ley was gonna say that. I knew that Ley of Rune was gonna say, was it a cow? Right? No, it wasn't a cow. Right?
Oh, was it a horse this time?
Might have been a bear for all I know.
Okay.
A bear? Where do you think you live?
Romania.
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna say this is Romania.
I forgot. I assumed it was in England. Carry on.
Yeah. Anyway, and we just heard like very quiet walking, like by quiet I mean like we had to like be very quiet to listen to hear it, and we heard it, and he was just walking around. So obviously, my Angelo, because he was the biggest out of all of us, he looked about 17 while we were about 10, right? He opened up the tent and went outside. He went outside to look around, to like not survey the area, but like to just like walk around the tent, see if there's anything, and then come back inside. I swear to you, and my other friend will confirm this, he was gone for half an hour. But the thing is, as soon as he left the tent, there was no more walking. There was no walking, there's no sound. All you could hear was just a bit of the wind. Like there was like very brief wind and then the crickets. There was no walking, there was no sound, there was no nothing.
He took your levitation power, Ley.
He did, yeah.
He was gone for half an hour. I swear it was half an hour. It seemed like forever. Like he was gone for so long. It was probably like half an hour. He comes back in the tent. Like nothing's happened. He like absolutely nothing's happened. He comes in, sits down, he's like, oh no, nothing, we're good. Both me and my friend, we look at each other and we're like, no, we're not good. You were gone for half an hour. And it's like, what do you mean? I literally walked around the tent once and came inside. And they're like, we didn't even hear you walk. And it was so weird because he said, no, I literally tapped on the tent and we didn't hear anything. Like, we didn't hear anything happen, anything at all. But he holds it up and high. Then he tapped on the tent and he walked around. They came back in, and it was literally to walk around the tent probably would have taken you like 20 seconds. If 20 seconds, probably would have taken you like you could do it in 10 seconds. Didn't even have to like run. You just walk 10 seconds. You're around the tent.
Damn.
But he was gone for so long, and there was no sound, no nothing, just like a cricket, and then bit of the wind. That's it.
So he managed to access an ultimate, like, dimension somewhere.
Yeah, it's just so. And to this day, we're still baffled on how the hell that worked, or what happened, or whose line.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's no. It's one of those weird things because he was so adamant that like nothing weird had happened, he didn't get to like experience it and be like, oh yeah, I was in this totally weird place and all the trees were mushrooms. Like, yeah, there's no like overlapping information to be like, yeah, I was totally in this place. The sky was purple. It's like, yeah, just kind of missed opportunity of like recognizing what it is. But because there's no recognition, it's like, oh yeah, just this thing happened and he lost 25 minutes of his life.
Although, yeah, it seems more like he probably. Why am I trying to come up with a logical answer? It's so stupid. But like, walked through a like time jump. So just went from being here, and then one step forward was somehow 20 minutes later. Does that make sense?
I feel like there might be a little bit of missing context. So Armand, I'll ask, even as 10-year-olds, how many lines of cocaine did you do beforehand?
None. What's that religion?
I don't know.
It's where there's Sundays on a Saturday. Like they're like God's
I'm sorry,
days
what?
Did you just say a sentence?
It's where they, you know, like where
the day of worship is Saturday.
Yeah, it's not Sunday. That one.
I actually don't know.
I'm taking a stab in the dark and saying Judaism, but I don't know.
No, they weren't Jews.
Hang on, religious.
So it wasn't Christian.
No, it might have been a type of Christian.
Yeah,
Like,
I've just put it in. It's Jewish.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay, well
Supposedly, I've just put it in. Is the Sabbath is the rest is yeah. So is observed throughout the year on the 7th day of the week, Saturday. According to biblical tradition, it commemorates the original 7th day in which God rested after completing creation. Supposedly Jewish. Yes, the Sabbath is actually on a Saturday, not a Sunday.
Oh.
Religious day being a Saturday.
The more you know.
Yeah. So
apparently, I was in a Jewish camp.
Well, it says that
don't. Oh, God.
The Hebrew Shabbat, the 7th day of the week, is Saturday, but the Hebrew calendar, a new day begins at sunset, or by custom about 20 minutes earlier. So Sabbath being linked to Christianity. In Eastern there you go. Eastern Christianity, the Sabbath is considered to be on a Saturday.
Oh, there we go.
So because of the part of the world that you're in. So yeah, it's just a cultural change over time that is moved to the Sunday. But it is what it is, I suppose.
Oh, look at that. Learned something new.
Yeah. This is a reasonably short story. It's nothing particularly special, but it's like, again, it's the movement of things that I have no explanation for.
Yeah.
This was the first place that I lived outside of the typical living at home, like with your parents and whatnot. Quick backstory, it doesn't really pertain to the story as far as I'm aware anyway. Parents were going through a breakup. I was about the age that it was kind of due for me to move out anyway. I needed to be closer to work, so found a place, paying reasonably cheap prices. But the room that I was in needed a lot of like renovation, like it needed the walls painting, it needed the carpet replacing, and some double glazing needed to go in. And I was fairly well off with money, so I paid for all of that. Didn't set me back too much. Yeah, I know.
Making bank.
Well, at the time, it was. I think I ended up doing the whole thing for 200 quid, which was for me was quite surprising.
What?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen anymore, would it?
No. So the paint was left over from what I had back at the house. The carpet was an offcut, so I only paid about 80 quid for it, and it was free fitting. And the window was from a company that was next door to the work that I used to work at, and I had a half friend, someone I would bump into on lunches, and he was like, you know what, if we find one in the right size, I could probably do it for about 50 quid. So it didn't set me back all that much. Yeah. And then it was just little things here and there, like for some reason there was a hole in the ceiling, so I needed to get that patched, but it came out to about 200 quid or so. So this ended up being essentially the nicest room in this house, because this house was not particularly nice, and
as most houses in England are.
Yeah, exactly. It was run down, let's put it that way. But the landlady was also avoiding bailiffs, so it was like I didn't know any of this moving in beforehand. If I knew about it, obviously I wouldn't have moved in. But she was the type of person that she had a Virgin Media TV box, had essentially never paid the bill, where I was told that there'd be like internet and, you know, the full TV package, but she would watch the TV with the message over the middle of the screen saying that you need to pay for your bill.
Oh
but
my God.
Yeah, but in the background was the actual TV show. So she just watched it with this big purple box in the middle saying that you need to pay your bill. I don't know what the actual thing was, because I never actually watched TV. Like, why would I? I think there was 1 month that I actually paid for it. Anyway, this is all completely kind of irrelevant. One of these days,
I forget these are paranormal stories, and then this guy just talks about TVs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, go on.
But bit of backstory, kind of the house that I'm in, it's kind of a bit run down. It's in the suburbs of a different town than what I said beforehand, but I won't mention that one because it's significantly closer to where I live now. One of the evenings, it kind of does tie in. One of the evenings, I was in bed, but I was on my PC, and I believe I was playing RuneScape. This was one of the months that oddly enough, we had internet, so nothing special. I was playing RuneScape, didn't think much of it. I was talking to a friend on the phone at the same time, because I don't believe I had Discord at the time. I didn't even know what it was. Got quite late, and I was like, you know what? I'm kind of done. I'm just going to go to bed. Turned everything off, shut everything down, logged out the game, all the lights were off, and I had mobile data that I didn't want to use because I had a set amount rather than unlimited. So even my phone was off. So I'm in complete dark. It's probably about 1 a.m. by this point. It takes me a while to fall asleep. Normally it takes me about an hour to 2 hours to actually fall asleep, even if everything is off, just the way my brain works. And it felt like it was maybe about 20 minutes afterwards, and I thought I heard someone knock on the door, it was a live-in landlady at the time. So I thought she'd knocked on my door. So I was like, yeah, give me a sec. Sat up, put some pajamas on, didn't think much of it. Opened the door, nothing there, obviously. Like, that's from the tone of this story and why we're telling it. It was the first of like a mini moment that was like, okay, that was a bit strange. I definitely thought I heard someone knock. Could be me, just sleepy brain, not really thinking about it too much. Shut the door, jump back into bed.
Sleepy brain.
You know when you just kind of like, you can do audio hallucinations at night and you're thinking you're hearing something, you might be like drifting off to sleep, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure I heard them knock, but it was what it was, didn't think much of it. The moment I sit back down, my PC turns itself on, the monitor turns on, and the game is still running. I'm nowhere near my keyboard or mouse, bearing in mind I'm playing this from in my bed. I don't have like a desk. The room isn't big enough for me to have a desk in it. So I'm just sat on my bed with the monitor off to my diagonal left with the PC underneath it. I can't even knock the button if I tried. Like it would be a feat, let's put it that way, if I were to manage to knock the button. But the fact that the monitor turned on, the PC turned on in this order, the game was still running, and in the game I was still moving around. But for anyone who's played RuneScape, you need to click somewhere to be able to move it around. But my mouse is a wireless mouse. Again, I'm in bed a distance from my PC. It's not on because there's a battery, so turn it off and whatnot. It's not on, and I'm moving backwards and forwards in RuneScape like someone is essentially clicking the same spot. It's a bit hard for me to describe. Armand, maybe you have a better way of saying it. I don't know if you've ever played RuneScape. In the top right is the map, and you're able to click on the map and it adds a little red flag, and it essentially makes your character walk to those places. You can't move around with WSA and D.
So basically the way League of Legends movement works.
Yeah, essentially the same type of way. And I'm just walking in a circle around the Grand Exchange. So like the marketplace in RuneScape is only accessible through this like building that they have. I was never like a hardcore RuneScape player or anything like that, so I don't know if there are maybe other places for it, but I'm just walking around this building. I'm doing nothing. My mouse is not moving, but everything has turned itself off. I'm kind of like sat there on the side of my bed, like in half shock, like the fuck is happening? Obviously, the first thing that I think of is my account's been hacked, or like someone's managed to get into my account and they're moving for me. But they're just moving in circles around the building. Nothing special. They're literally just clicking 4 different clicks, just building, like going around it in circles. After about, I think it was like 1.5 times around the building, because obviously there was a slight inquisitive side in my head thinking, I'm just going to watch this for a second and see what happens. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything malicious. They're not dropping my stuff on the floor. They're not like accessing or going over to my bank and taking gold out or anything. I'm like, this is really strange. Then as I grab my mouse and I wiggle it, that's how I know that it's not on. And I'm like trying to wiggle it to see where it is on the screen to then like turn the PC off again. I go to wiggle it, it's not on, so I turn it upside down. The switch for it is on the bottom. I can't even remember what mouse it was. It was like I think it was like one of them, the bundle sets that you get, the cheapy bundle sets.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so I flick it over, turn it on, it works. And I'm like, okay, cool. I click somewhere and it moves my character there, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm still in control. It's not someone, as far as I'm aware, I don't know how it works properly. I'm guessing someone else isn't on my account. So I just click, I just log off. So I've done all this, I do the loop all over again. I log off, I go to click the shutdown, and it doesn't let me turn the PC off. It won't work. At that point, you do the suicide thing, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Essentially, just holding the on button on the PC to turn it off and just like kill it. I do that, it turns off, everything goes black, and I have a little bit of a moment like, okay, what the fuck is going on? A little bit strange, but like I can't do anything about it now. Like I'm not really going to think about it too much. I'm just going to get back into bed. Bearing in mind it's about 1 a.m, still quite late. Probably about past by this point anyway. Get back into bed, roll over, feel myself dripping off again. The door knocks again, PC turns back on, whole thing happens all over again. Like almost exactly the same. Again, it would be great if I had a video of this, but I'm like half delirious thinking, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't know if it's feasible to have an explanation as to why my PC would turn itself on, I'm back in the game, and my RuneScape character is walking around the Grand Exchange.
Yeah, that's a lot of steps, right?
It's like opening up the game, logging me in. I'm already logged out by this point. Like, obviously, I've already done it once. I can't remember an awful lot after that. As far as I can recall, I had to do exactly the same thing again. PC wouldn't turn off, so I just suicided it and just held down the power button. But I'm hearing, like, I heard the knock at the door, but everything happened at the same time. So the knock on the door, PC turns on, or Monarch comes on, PC turns on, mouse is off, it's doing all the same thing again. And I'm just like, I think I'm so tired by that point. I just don't know what to do.
What if you were so actually sleepy that you thought you turned off the PC, but you didn't actually, and you just closed your eyes?
I would agree with you if it only happened once.
Yeah.
But the fact that it happened twice, and the second time I'm very much in bed and haven't knocked anything by accident. Like the first time, maybe I could write it off as like, okay, maybe I tapped the power button or something and the game was still running and I just didn't realize and I didn't log off, or I've made a mistake or an error somewhere along the way by being tired. But the thing that kind of makes it for me very strange is that the same thing happened over again. So it wasn't anything like physical in the room moving or this and the other. It's just the weird knock at the door. Very clearly no one is awake. And then all the PC stuff happens. I'm like, okay, weird as fuck. Luckily, I don't have that PC anymore. It's off with a teenager.
Let's say that PC has a demon, get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, it now belongs to a teenager, so yeah, it's not my problem. Do we want to do one more to wrap up, or do we want to save some stories? And maybe we can come back to this in the future.
I don't mind either. I've got a fair few, so...
I say how much time have we spent this pod?
An hour.
I feel like that's enough. Yeah, let's not bore our viewers. I mean, they're probably already bored, but let's not.
Is that your subtle way of saying you're bored, Armand?
No.
Wow.
You are such a bad liar. Okay, well, fuck it then. Anything else that we want to go over before we end the pod? We have more stories, for one, if anyone wants to hear any more in the future.
Yeah.
No one's going to comment on anything, but maybe we'll do some more in the future.
Never know.
Maybe. If you comment on this, I swear to God.
I hadn't even thought about it until you said it.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, well, I've implanted that idea now. But yeah, anything else you want to go over?
Now.
Yeah. I've shot myself in the foot.
Can we... No, it's fine.
No, you can't do that, okay? It's like saying... Oh, fuck, I hate this.
Oh, I've got something to tell you. No, actually, I shouldn't.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Don't worry.
Oh,
yeah.
I will vomit.
No, because
Tell me or I will vomit.
Yeah,
you've started it being like, oh, maybe there's a thing. You know what? Don't worry. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna...
Because Ley already heard it and there's no point anymore.
What?
Remember that thing I told you about me getting a plate thrown on my head?
Oh, I see. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's a personal story, keep it to the next pod. I'll remind you at the beginning, and we can go into that.
Yeah,
teaser for the next pod. I don't even know what we're doing for the next pod, but yeah. Any final words?
I got my hair cut today, and I regret it.
Oh, unfortunately.
Can we see?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's about it.
That's about it.
Okay, like and subscribe. Thanks for listening to the pod. Appreciate your time.
Love you.
I'm in your way.